My future father-in-law threatened to walk out on our wedding. Oh, we never hear from the father-in-laws. This is a rare one. It's like a unicorn. Oh, there's text. Goody, 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 goody. Hello, my fellow potatoes. This was posted in the Charlotte Deborah YouTube subreddit. I hope this post gets good traction because I really need advice on how to handle this situation. I don't know what else to do besides go no contact if this were to happen. My fiance, 25 male, and I, 27 female, got engaged in the summer of 2024, and we got wedding planning right away. We both have very large families, so we wanted to make sure as many people as possible could be involved. Side note, my fiance has been no contact with his mom and his mom's side of the family since he was 16, but his dad's side of the family is super family oriented, meaning if there's an event, everyone comes. Great aunts, uncles, cousins, cousins' kids, family, friends, literally everyone. And it's fantastic. I love his family so much, and they're genuinely some of the best people I've ever met in my entire life. After we got engaged, I asked my mom and his stepmom, mother-in-law, for a list of people to invite so we didn't forget anyone. However, due to our venue size, we weren't able to invite absolutely everyone. So we came to the decision to exclude extended families' children. In December of 2024, we had finalized the list and shared that information with both of our parents, and there was no issue. However, when we sent out invitations in January 2026 with an RSVP deadline of April 1st, we thought that would give people enough time to make arrangements if needed. Since the invites have gone out, we've gotten a lot of backlash from his side of the family. They've said things like,
"How could you exclude the kids? They're just as important as the adults."
oh my goodness. It's one of these things that like until you're planning a wedding and you realize that there's so many restrictions, not only with venue sizes, venues that are available, but also with cost, you have to draw the line somewhere. And it's either no partners or no kids. So they said things like, how could you exclude the kids? They're just as important as the adults. What am I supposed to do with my kids? I don't know, get a babysitter?
No, you can figure it out.
If the kids can't come, then I'm not coming.
And I have had several conversations with mother-in-law about this. It's been overwhelming to say the least. In February, we went to his sister's volleyball tournament with his parents. Mother-in-law brought up the issue again. For context, we handed out several invitations to people we see regularly and gave mother-in-law one to give her mother. She said she was going to give that invitation to someone else. Huh? Meaning she wanted to give the invitation meant for her own mother to another person. What? I said no because our guest list is final and we already formatted the floor plan and seating chart. Making a seating chart takes literal hours and is hard to do with relationship dynamics and everything. Can attest to this. I've heard and also experienced that the seating chart is like one of the most difficult things to do with regards to a wedding. That's why when people cancel like last minute and you have to move things around, it's like, it took us like 4 days at least. And it's just something that we started and then we couldn't finish it. And then we started again, couldn't finish it. It took like about a week. I get it. She continued to push this and said, well, if the cousins don't come because they can't bring their kids, then I'll give this to this other person. That's not up to her. That's up to you. If they can't come, then you'll invite someone that you want at your wedding. I said again, no, and ended the conversation because no should be enough. Later that same day, my fiance and I had a long conversation about this, trying to figure out how to address it with his parents and make sure our expectations are clear. So we typed up a message and sent it to them. We didn't get a response for over 5 hours. When we did get a response, it was from father-in-law, who's not been involved with any wedding-related things at all. I will attach screenshots because it's a lot. All right, let's read the screenshots. After multiple conversations about the guest list and the problems some people are having with their children not being invited, we wanted to reiterate that we send invitations to the people we have chosen to have at our wedding. Those people have been accounted for on the seating chart and for catering. The only children under the age of 18 are those who are in the wedding and immediate family. We didn't exclude people from the guest list to hurt anyone's feelings. We made our guest list based on the space available at the venue. We understand if people choose not to come because they cannot bring their children, but the invitations were sent and given to specific people and they cannot be interchanged because the guest list is final.
No. The answer is no.
Right, because this is a wedding and not a block party. Anyone that shows up at the wedding that was not invited will be asked to leave. There is a specific setup for the amount of people that are listed to attend. Our seating arrangement has been intentionally laid out for where we want certain people, and the tables are full. We cannot add any more. There were people we both wanted to invite, but we're not able to because of the amount of space we have. Again, we're not doing this to hurt anyone's feelings or exclude anyone. Okay, and now the response. I feel like that's a pretty chill message. But unfortunately, even when you send chill messages to people who are easily to get defensive, it really doesn't matter how chill you are. Okay, so I've stayed out of all this wedding talk for a reason. So if what you're getting ready to read hurts your feelings, not sure I care. Oh God. I'm involving myself now because when there's tears coming down my wife's face, I'll step in. Crocodile tears. Plus, we just had a good morning together and had lunch together, and none of this crap came up.
But it did, though.
It has to come from a text, really? First off, it's your wedding and we respect it.
You sure about that?
But family on my side always comes first before friends. I don't agree with some of your rules, but that's my opinion.
And keep it to yourself.
I mean, I would argue that friends come first before difficult family members. 1000%. Fiance, how many weddings and parties that you and your sister weren't invited to did I go to? Not one. Never did anything without you. That's also the same way my family works. Hope you continue to remember that. It's sad to me that aunts and uncles and cousins aren't invited that have been a part of your life. Actually, they are pretty hurt and sad enough to cry that they weren't invited. Cousins coming 8 hours plus away on a holiday weekend, can't bring their kids, puts them in a situation and they feel uncomfortable on what to do. If they do come without their kids to your wedding and see kids running around, what are they to think? You know mother-in-law is everything about family and will do anything for any of them. And you. Again, your rules don't make sense to me. But again, that's my opinion.
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Don't appreciate the text messages the way they are. We're not children. We were just hanging out together and you could have said it then. This isn't something more for us to be trash talked about, which we know happens. We have thick skin, but it's not appreciated. Mother-in-law and I are super excited about you two getting married, but when you get kicked in the knees so many times, the feeling gets numb. The last text message pissed me off. We get it, but don't treat me like a child. A phone call or face-to-face would have been nicer.
Okay, boomer.
Shut the up. Give me a break. You did do it face-to-face. Stupid phone won't let me write anymore. Just remember, when you have a family of your own, they come first. Not always, to be honest. When you have difficult family members that are making your life and your wedding a bigger problem than it needs to be, you kind of are demoted in terms of importance. After we got this message, we decided to call them after fiance and I had talked about it. We again wrote down our thoughts to make sure there was no misunderstanding or disrespect because we didn't think our initial message was disrespectful at all. We just wanted to clear the air and make your asks clear. I don't even understand why you need to make it clear that you can't just pass off a wedding invitation to someone else. Clearly that conversation had to be had. The phone call did not go well.
Oh, there's a big surprise!
We only spoke to father-in-law and he did not let us get a word in edgewise. I finally had to cut him off and tell him there's literally no space at the venue to add 30 children. That's the amount of kids that are part of both of our extended families or extra people, and it sucks because we would have loved to have everyone there, but it's just not possible. We also cleared up a lot of the random things he added in his message, like we trash talked about them, which we never did, and explained to them this is a formal wedding. They have never been to a formal wedding. Every wedding they've been to is like a backyard tent type of wedding. So there are different rules, expectations, and boundaries for formal weddings. They ended the conversation with, fine, whatever. We respect your decision, but people aren't happy. We thought that was the end of it. Just a week ago, we got together for a family birthday and father-in-law told fiance that his aunt is planning on bringing one of their grandkids because some of the cousins can't come. Context, the parents of this child won't come without their kids, so fiance's aunt, the child's grandmother, decided she would bring them anyway. Fiance said absolutely not because they weren't invited. This is not a conversation we are having with anyone anymore. If someone shows up who's not invited, they will be asked to leave. Father-in-law didn't like this and said if any of his family is told to leave, that he would be leaving with them.
Anyway,
I love how people say this as if it's like a bad thing. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, not at all, actually.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
This shocked me because in what world does it make sense to side with someone who's blatantly disrespected your son and his new wife on their wedding day over your own son? That's a very good point. I fail to understand why he's choosing sides based on someone who's been really rude to you guys. He's picking the side and standing in solidarity with the person he shouldn't be standing in solidarity with. I told my fiance that if it were my dad or anyone else in my family, I would cut him off or at the very least go low contact. Because behavior like that shows how little your own father respects you and your decisions. My fiance is very torn about this because he says it depends on the circumstances and conversations had at the time if it were to happen, which I agree. Depending on how the conversation went, if this were to happen, could change my POV. But bottom line, if father-in-law were to leave because of it, that is enough for me to cut contact for a while. We have talked about this with friends and they agree with me, but I need advice on if there's another solution or route to navigate this situation. Please help. The wedding is in 2 months. So some people in the comments are pointing out if he doesn't pay, he doesn't have a say.